actionable, yes, actionable intelligence is what in fact Mr. Nataraj is a very important point is making. Dr. Chandrasekaran, again, not technically a forensic question, but still I'll ask you this because you're also an expert here. No, there was no blame game after 9/11. Look at what's happening here in India. First thing, when a blast takes place, minutes after that, you'll have political parties saying, you know, this is an intelligence failure. We don't want to politicize it, but it's an intelligence failure. The government is responsible. The Home Minister should resign, blah, blah. This really, you know, is counterproductive.
Yeah, it's a pity in this country after 26/11, the Americans, they have framed a slogan, if you see something, say something. That means if you something, inform the authorities, something funny, this group or this individual is roaming around to do some mischief. Now, I would say we Indians, if we see some person, some suspect, inform the police or the authorities there is something fishy about this man. Now, the sight recognition is a very difficult problem.
In fact, this happens usually after a blast takes place.
After the
and
blast.
The sketches and all that we see.
After, but
how
before,
scientific are these sketches?
These sketches are, you see, they have taken photographs of several types of people. They cut their nose separately, eyes separately, mouth separately, ears separately.
Cutting the nose to identify the face.
That's right. Then assemble them and show the witness, will it be like this? If he says the nose is a little bigger, they put a different nose, change it. And when he agrees, yes, this man is like this, then they put that. Now, this process of recognition is better than recall, because we cannot recall how that man looked like who brought a box and left there. So, the recognition is very important, for which I feel we can't put a policeman behind every place and every occasion. So, the public participation in crime investigation is people must develop a sense of identifying people before or suspect.
What are the tips that you would like to give people? If you see a particular person and you want to remember that person, what are the features you would like to look for?
That's right. Now, the psychologist says a terrorist will always speak a few words and threaten, or even somebody standing there, we will look at his lips. The lips are the most emotional descriptive portion of the
You've written a book also on that, lip forensics.
That's right. This was recently released in Sri Lanka. Now, the features of the lip, how it appeared, you need a definite language. What you describe, the police or the other witness able to understand. So, I have created a universal language of terminology. One uses the upper border of the lip look like twin peaks. Everyone knows what is a twin peak. So, uneven peak or like two dooms or single doom. Like that, I have created an international language. People should cultivate, they owe a duty to tell, to prevent. Now, we do only the investigation. My aim
but
is
what are the, in very simple terms, if you can tell people what they should look for really? I mean, if you see a person just in a fraction of a second.
That's right.
What are the 2 or 3 key features you should look for?
Exactly. The mouth, the line joining two lips when he is not speaking closed, that is called the oral fissure, or the line dividing the lips. The lower vermilion border and the upper vermilion border. I have classified by interviewing about 2,000, more than 2,000 people across the country, and newborn babies, about 100 of them. I classified to say into so many categories.
Yes, sir. Sorry to interrupt you, sir. Mr. Nataraj wants to actually intervene. Yes, sir.
Yeah, so you asked, well, it's very, very important. Of course, this is an academic discussion.
Yes, sir.
But in an actual situation, what is important is what people should look for. Watch hands and watch anything unusual. For a particular any security situation, that's what we keep telling our policemen also. Watch the hands of the crowd. For doing any mischief, your hands are utilized. And similarly, any furtive look or any other unusual thing in a place, that should be looked for and immediately reported. As I rightly said, if you see something, say something. The information should be shared. And similarly, we have a lot of cameras deployed everywhere, but the problem is the images from the cameras are not analyzed in real time. It's very essential that the images of the camera are analyzed in real time, and we'll be in a position to prevent incidents.
Absolutely. Let's bring back Ashwin Kotnesi. Ashwin, what's the scale of CCTV coverage of the city police? Because as far as the centre is concerned, I said in my introduction that only now people are planning to go to Scotland Yard to see how they are actually using CCTVs, which is shocking.
I think we have a lot of ground to cover on that front. At the moment, what we have is we ask private sponsors to cover areas. We have a lot of shopping areas which are covered, private multiplexes which are covered, even streets where we get sponsorship and people cover it. But there is a lack of a comprehensive intelligence system of CCTVs. I think, but we are working on it. I think proposals have already been sent and they are at advanced stage of deliberation in the government.
Okay, Dr. Chandrasekaran, again, very briefly, if you can tell us, I mean, you spoke about lips. If you just enumerate, what are the other features you should look for? Nose, is it?
Nose, ears? And the eyes, the appearance of the eyes. People, I have questions.
Many of them would probably be wearing dark glasses.
Many of them do not know whether the earlobe of his wife is free or attached earlobe. They don't know. They don't observe.
Okay.
These are the things we should observe to say the facial
features. So one is whether the earlobe is attached or not.
Attached or
is your lobe attached? It's free.
Free.
Is mine free or attached?
You're also free.
Free, okay.
But some of them will be attached.
Okay, that's
so
one
this
thing.
Is
nose,
an observation.
What should they look for the nose?
Upturned or downturned. If it is upturned, the nostrils you will see.
Okay.
Similarly, the eyes, big eyes, exophthalmic. That is the protruding eyes or the sunken eyes. It's a very important factor. The lips have three factors: upper vermilion border, the upper border, lower border, and the line dividing. But they usually differ from people to people.
So usually some people will say whether they have, they look at the hair, they look at the beard and all, but these are really not frequent because people can shave off their beard later, they can shave off the mustache.
That's right.
The common man would look for these factors, whether he has long hair or short hair.
Not beard, not mustache. These things, in fact, when I was delivering this technique developed by me in Mexico conference, the students wanted 5 minutes. Within 5 minutes, each one tried to describe the lip feature or sight recognition of lips of the other person. All the 500 students have very correctly diagnosed.
Okay. But
this we should educate the public.
Awareness. Mr. Nataraj, to come back to you, sir, now in the High Court, for instance, again a high security zone here, actually that's how it should be. Now, after that clash with the police, in fact, there was a proposal to give out identity cards. In fact, they went ahead with that proposal also. But then a few days later, they were back to square one. How do you think this should actually be handled, sir? Because on the one hand, without being too unobtrusive security in the High Court, how do you think they can actually achieve that end there?
High Court is a very huge campus, but there are certain areas which are high security areas. It's already declared like that. Where the judges enter and certain places, and where public enter, it's a different entry. But access control in all these places is very essential. It's high time we deployed a proper access control system, and of course it will cause some delay, some obstruction, some problem to people, inconvenience to people, but that should not be the problem at all. That should not be viewed with it should be taken in our stride. So it is very essential that we deploy a proper security system. There we already have separate companies deployed in that area, and we have an assistant commissioner in charge of security in airport, in the High Court. But there are so many entrances, and it is very essential that a proper drill is laid out so that the access control is effectively implemented.
So again, I spoke about 5-star hotels where they do this haphazard namesake sort of checking. Also in theatres and in especially multiplexes, we've got many of them now in Chennai. You will find that when people go in, yes, they do have a metal detector. We don't know really whether those metal detectors work, and they manage to actually frisk about 10 people in 2 seconds. Do you believe that they should also be sensitized? All these public spaces, malls, multiplexes.
Yeah, they should be sensitized. In fact, a regular training program is also run by our commando school, where private security agencies, they can go to the school, pay some very nominal fee which the government has fixed, and they can be given training. And similarly, Fire Services Department also gives training, a week's training on safety measures and all that. It is very essential that these security guards are given training, and it is in the interest of the police. The officers who are there, people like young officers like Mr. Kotnis and other deputy commissioners, they during their rounds, they go and check not only their beatmen, but also these security guards who are there, and also sensitize them on the ground. It's very essential.
Absolutely. Ashwin Kotnis, how effective is your intelligence gathering involving local communities?
In fact, I think we are quite good at humanint, what is called as humanint, rather than technological intelligence. We have we have very good contacts. We have a system of a boys club that you would be aware of, that our present commissioner pioneered. We have system of Friends of Police, which is an award winning again community initiative. We have good reach amongst the people, but you must realize that accessibility and security are inversely proportional. So, there are so many groups, so many people going around, and there is always a possibility that there is one deviant group which is missed out, which is very close knit. If an individual decides to do something and he does it on his own, what are the chances that police would have covered him? But if, let us say, that group was 10 or that was 100 or it was 1000, what are the chances that police would cover it? So, you can see that it really depends on how close knit the group is which is acted, how it has acted, whether it has got some support from other groups, and then it is easy to break into them. So, it is more of a it is a complex system, but of course, we have got very good human especially in Tamil Nadu, in Chennai.
All right, Ashwin, one final question. I keep calling you Ashwin because the anchor is also Ashwin. How is the police really dealing with crank callers and bomb hoax calls?
We take action whenever we get such kind of action. We take deterrent action, because it wastes the resources of the police department. Getting a hoax call and mobilizing resources, running after that, and then finding it to be a hoax call obviously puts a strain on our resources, and we take very strict action. We have taken action before. You would find examples where people have been remanded, people have been prosecuted for such action.
All right, Ashwin, thank you very much. We let you go now. We really appreciate your time. We know you have a lot of security work to be doing, but it's important also. We appreciate your time because this is also awareness for the citizens. It's a community effort, not just the role of the police. One final question to you, Dr. Chandrasekaran. Now, citizens' response. You very rightly gave that drew our attention to that slogan in the US after 9/11. Now, if you remember the Mangalore air crash,
yes,
and soon after that, I was in a flight to Mumbai, and I thought that people's behavior would change. But even in spite of the crash, there were people still using their mobiles. The moment the flight landed, mobiles started ringing. So there is that element. People are a little lax. We don't really care until it hits us.
Quite true that I must agree that we are not a disciplined nation. We don't follow discipline. We don't follow the rules. We break the rules. That's because the rule makers themselves, they break the rules. Those citizens.
No one sets an example.
So it's like that. And the citizens have a responsibility. I was in America after that. Everyone, home security training, the community people among themselves, how to save our people, because innocent people who have nothing to do with
today, for instance, to give credit, the lawyers in the Delhi High Court,
yeah,
they were the ones who first actually went and took a lot of people to hospital.
That's
and all that.
Right.
Full marks to the lawyers.
That's really, yes. Of course, our people that way, they are very good in doing such service. But what I say is, they don't show that sort of inquisitiveness to prevent the crime, to see somebody to tell, to see watchful, be vigilant. They were telling about this so-called security checks in theatres and hotels. I think that is a wasteful exercise.
It's a mockery.
You must check in a place, surprisingly, people who are suspected. So, being vigilant is an important aspect even for the security people. I would say common man should be more vigilant, not only in his own interest, in the interest of the nation.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Dr. Chandrasekaran. Pleasure to have you and your expertise here on the show. I'll leave the final word to Mr. R. Nataraj, who's also been one of the best police commissioners we've had in Chennai. So how, for a common viewer watching this, how should one make a distinction between paranoia and caution? What are some of the things that people should report, because they can't end up sending the police on a wild goose chase? Yes, already bad enough we have the problem of crank callers and bomb hoax calls. What should actually people look for, and then because what will actually lead to actionable intelligence for the police, sir?
No, see, the information comes from various sources. When I said actionable intelligence culled out from investigation and from the intelligence agencies through their own network. That is one thing, but for the public, whatever that we should never brush aside any information as a hoax information. Even in the case of the Delhi incident of May 25th, I believe a week earlier there was a letter to the railway station superintendent that there will be a bomb blast in the railway station or in the High Court, like that. There was an information, there was a letter. So that should have been acted upon. So any information that is coming, whether it is we can't decide whether it is the correct information, wrong information. Every information should be sifted, analyzed, and action taken. It's very difficult, but that is why we are in the business like this. So and for the people, as I said, anything unusual, they should not fight shy of informing.
Can you give some examples, sir, to make it simpler for the viewers? Can you give some examples? What if they see probably a suitcase abandoned in some place?
Yeah, a suitcase abandoned in a place is one thing, or an unknown person coming, or in a house suddenly a lot of people are coming and then staying, and then at odd hours they are coming and going. So these are all so many things which are happening, you know, in our in the busy localities. So anybody watching this, they should be in a position, they should inform. And similarly, a vehicle abandoned somewhere, or you see a particular vehicle repeatedly coming to a place where it should not be found. So like this, we have to be, every citizen is a policeman without uniform. They should realize that. And unless they furnish the information, they give the information at the right time, it is for the police to check. So police also should be very sensitive to it. They should not brush aside any information as a hoax call, or it is an extra burden on them. Every information has to be verified.
All right. That's, I mean, very useful information that you've given the viewers. Every police, every citizen is actually a police person without uniform. And also Dr. Chandrasekharan, who gave us, in fact, that wonderful proposal of an explosives control bureau. Thank you very much, Mr. Nataraj. Thank you, sir, for joining us. Thank you, Dr. Chandrasekharan. And to also Ashwin Kotnis for joining us earlier on the show. It's back to Ashmit Kumar for the rest of the news after a short break. Stay tuned.